Georgia Tech season just came to an end, and let's just say it came to an end in a not so great fashion. With the loss to BYU and starting the season off 8-0, and literally finishing the season off 9-4, barely winning one of those last few games. To help you have 9 wins. So honestly, you should be 8-5 right now. And, it's quite crazy. Quite embarrassing. It really is. But I'm just gonna be making a video on a short little recap of the season as a Georgia Tech fan. And yeah, here we go. This should be very fun. Starting off with a recap of the first game of the season. We played Colorado and beat them 27-20. So, that was kind of expected. We kind of won, I think, by a little less than we were supposed to, I think. Second game, Gardner-Webb, we busted them up like 50-something-12, I think. 59-12, I think. Yeah, so, that was a pretty good game. Then the third game of the season, Clemson, 24-21. I mean, whoa. That last second field goal to win it. Second furthest field goal in Georgia Tech school history. So, I mean, that was so big. Georgia Tech, 3-0 for the first time in years. And in that way, to make it happen in that way, the game-winning field goal over Clemson, which at the time was a very good team, or thought to have been a very good team, it don't get any better than that. It really don't, especially to be underdogs coming into the season. It don't get any better than that. It don't. Oh, and then we played Temple, which I was actually at that game. We beat them 45-25, I think, something like that. That was a very nice game to go to, and a very, nice game in general. Another one of those, kind of very easy. So, we were 4-0 coming into the Wake Forest game, which we won in an overtime, 30-29. I was honestly watching the game, and I was scared. I was nervous. But I think we intercepted it to win the game. Yeah, I was nervous, for being so honest with you. But I'm really glad we won. I mean, that made us 5-0. First time in, I can't remember. But first time in years, 100%. Then Virginia Tech came to us at Bobby Dodd. We beat them 35-20. 6-0, man. 6-0. Great game. And what made us 7-0 was against Duke, 27-18. Great game. Little nervous coming into that game. I'm not going to lie. I kind of thought they would play a little harder than they did, and I thought that our defense wouldn't be that great, if I'm being so honest with you. But we won pretty big, Those are ACC champions, too, so, it's pretty big. Then we beat Syracuse 41-16. Now, this is where we go downhill. That made us 8-0. This is where we go downhill. Our game against NC State. Oh my goodness. Boy, was I looking forward to a win. I was looking forward on going 12-0, beating Georgia, going, crazy in the playoffs. Freaking popping off. Just, everyone talking about us. Best ACC team of the nation. Question mark, question mark, question mark. I was expecting that. But, coming into that NC State game, honestly, I really was. But watching that game was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. I couldn't even be upset after the game. I actually couldn't be upset. It was such a big disappointment. I don't know. It was just crazy, man. I mean, first loss of a season after going 8-0, and I still couldn't really be upset. It just felt weird. And I feel like a lot of Georgia Tech fans can agree with that. I mean, they busted us up. They did. They really, 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 really did. So I'm, sure them and their fans were happy, for being the first to beat Georgia Tech. But Georgia Tech fans aren't. We are not happy about it. So yeah, that made us 8-1 here's what happened next in the next game. We played Boston College. Guess how much we beat them by? Keep on, we're 8-1 coming into that game. Guess how much we beat a 0-9 team, I think, at the time. I'm pretty sure they were 0-9. Guess how much? No, they were 1-9, I think. I can't remember. But guess how much we beat them by? 2 points. 36-34. What is happening? I mean, I was just so shocked. Now, I was glad we won, but that right there, I almost lost hope for beating Georgia. At that point, I was, that was where I was kind of slowing down my hopes for a great season. But I really did think that we would beat Pitt coming into that game. Last home game of the season. But guess what? We didn't beat Pitt. I mean, they beat us at home. I think that was our first loss at home in 3 seasons. I mean, it's just ridiculous, man. Pittsburgh, they're not even that great. I mean, they beat us by 14 points. That's more than NC State beat us by. At home. Are you kidding me? I mean, we almost made a comeback in that game, but boy, that was a crazy turnout. I'm pretty sure everyone was, almost everyone was, thinking Georgia Tech would win that. No, we didn't. Home game, senior night. I thought we would win it at Bobby Dodd, but no. Now coming to the last game of the season against Georgia, I'm pretty sure almost every Georgia Tech fan honestly lost hope. 9-2 coming into that game. And this is the 12th game for the Georgia Tech season. Pretty sure most Georgia fans lost their hope. If I'm being so honest with you, I said earlier I almost lost my hope. But that's why I said I almost lost my hope. I didn't lose my hope. I actually really thought we'd beat Georgia. During the game, I'm telling you, it wasn't before the last 1 or 2 minutes of the game that I started thinking, maybe we won't beat Georgia. Yeah, I was right that we wouldn't beat them. It was still a close game, though, 16-9. I don't really want to talk much about that game. To hell with Georgia, by the way. But yeah, that's I guess that's a loss, even though we beat them last year. But they always miss things, so it's fine. The refs always miss a bunch of calls, cost us games. Sucks, but it's fine. It's really not, but it's whatever. It's whatever. Then today as I'm recording this, a couple hours ago, I think, 2-3 hours ago, BYU beat us in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. We got Pop-Tarts Bowl access. Honestly, I'm one of those people, I always have hope in my team, especially Georgia Tech. I have so much hope in Georgia Tech, so much faith in them and everything. So coming into that BYU game, I wasn't even just saying that I thought that they were going to win just so, maybe I would put it out there that they would win. I genuinely thought that they were going to win. I was thinking that they would win. But unfortunately, Georgia Tech didn't win. 21-10 lead at halftime and blew it. Now, I get it. It's not that big of a lead. It's really not. 21-10, if you think about it, that's two possessions, literally. I mean, let's be so honest here. 21-10 point lead is not that much. But I think it's the fact that we didn't even score in the second half. We ended that game 25-21. And, BYU scored their 25th point with a couple minutes left to go. So if we just would have scored one last touchdown, we would have won, man. We would have won. BYU did not play that good of a game. Props to them. I'm glad. I'm happy for them. I'm just not happy that Georgia Tech lost at all. Georgia Tech should have done much better. I feel bad for all the seniors. They're amazing. Thank them for all the great memories and all the great gameplay. But dang, I guess no one showed up in that second half. It's it's just ridiculous. It really is. It really, really is. If I'm being so honest with you, it felt like we were still blowing them out though when they were up 25-21. I don't know why. It just felt like we were up, like big time. I don't know. It just felt like that. It felt like we were beating them, but not in the score. We were beating them though. I don't know. It just felt like that. Anyone, see what I mean? I don't think so. But yeah, that made us 9-4. It's unfortunate. I don't think I got much else to talk about. There's my Georgia Tech 2025 season recap. Yeah, Haynes King's last game. That was a crazy interception to end the game. Sorry, Haynes King, but that was pretty bad. Oh, that was a pretty bad throw. I feel bad for the seniors, including him, including Haynes King. Yeah, feel bad for them. I wish they would have won their last game with Georgia Tech as players, but unfortunately they didn't. It is what it is. Go Jackets, to hell with Georgia.